Good afternoon. Hello. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. I know that everyone is still trying to take their seats. And we have lunch planned as well. So we're going to give about 2 minutes, and then we're going to get started. So we will be speaking during your lunch, but we promise it's going to be a really fun and informative hour. Good afternoon, or good morning rather. So we're going to get started in just about 2 minutes. We'll give 2 minutes for just some folks that are still trickling in, finding their seats. We might just want to close one set of the doors in the back too. Okay, it looks like everyone is just about settled. So good morning and welcome. How's everyone doing? Great conference this week. I've heard great things about it. So hats off to the Doctor of Nursing Practice organization, Dr. Odell and Fallon Grogg, for making this possible. My name is Jennifer Stiles. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager for Nursing here at Jones & Bartlett Learning. We're thrilled to be here. I'm accompanied by my colleague, Mary Colleen Liberty. She's a Technology Product Manager here at Jones & Bartlett. And we have a special guest speaker, as many of you know. That's Dr. Lisa Chisholm. She's a JBL author. She's a DNP herself, and last year she won the AJN Book of the Year award. So we're really excited that she's here today. And I do want to extend a very warm and big thank you to the Doctor of Nursing Practice organization for making it possible to speak to us, for us to speak to you today. I'd like to really personally thank Fallon Grogg and Dr. Odell. So thank you very much for this opportunity. We're really thrilled to be here. For those of you who might be unfamiliar with Jones & Bartlett Learning, I know we have been here during the week and you might be using some of our products, but for those of you who don't know who we are, we're a learning solutions company focused on creating products for assessment, instructional resources, and learning performance management solutions for the higher ed market, the career market, as well as the professional market. And one of the reasons we're here today is to talk to you about a brand new, very exciting, first of its kind, Doctor of Nursing Practice online suite of courses and curriculum. Dr. Lisa Chisholm is here to talk to us today about how she's translating the essentials into practice. She's going to give a brief history of the DNP degree, and she's also going to share some stories about how the DNP degree has impacted her really positively, both personally and professionally. So let's get started. But before we do so, just have a few quick housekeeping announcements that I want to make. We do have 45 minutes for this lunch and the presentation, so we have to break promptly at 12:30, so we're going to really make the most out of this time with you today. Dr. Odell wanted me to let you know that the breakouts do begin promptly at 1 p.m. in their respective rooms, so they're looking for a prompt 1 p.m. start time. And we may or may not have time for Q&A this afternoon, just depending on how the presentation runs. So we invite you to join us upstairs in the terrace room. It's on the second floor off of the foyer space. And we'll be there. Jones & Bartlett Learning will be. We have, a lot of representation here on site from our editorial and sales and technology teams. So if you have any other questions, we'll be there from 12:30 to 3. Lisa will also be there if you'd like to speak to her as well. We do realize it's in conflict with the conference hours, but if you have a minute, you want to stop in, we will be there. So those are just a few things to keep in mind. That's on the second floor, and it's called the terrace room. So as many of you may already know, Jones & Bartlett Learning has really been a leader in content provider for advanced nursing practice and DNP-focused texts for many years. This slide is truly a strong representation of our top and our most current offerings in this space. It's not a complete representation, but just a small representation of some of our key offerings that we have currently. So based on the need within higher education and the healthcare recommendations from both the AACN and the IOM, we've really leveraged our expertise and our knowledge in this area and the content that we've already created to develop a completely unique, first of its kind, truly online curriculum for the Doctor of Nursing Practice degree consisting of 12 online courses. These courses have been created in collaboration with subject matter experts, course writers, instructional designers who really understand how to create an online learning experience that will enhance the students' learning experience. We've also partnered with practicing clinicians, and these courses have been reviewed critically by DNPs themselves as well. Content is derived from key Jones and Bartlett learning textbooks, as well as other resources too, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Some of the course features include the fact that all of these courses are aligned to the AACN Essentials. They're tightly aligned. We've taken, great pains to make sure that there is close alignment. They're also aligned to CUSIN as well as the IOM. And I just mentioned that we have content that's derived from particular Jones and Bartlett learning textbooks. So the suite of 12 courses has 2 to sometimes 3 to 4 textbooks that the content is derived from. So what we've done is we've created a complete custom print book as well as an ebook for each one of the courses, so making it a complete solution for you. So we've taken the chapters that map to each one of the courses and have created a custom book already for you. If you like that in the print version, we have that. We also have that available in the ebook version as well. And some of you who might have stopped by the Jones and Bartlett Learning booth earlier this week, you might have actually seen the sample of it too. These courses are mobile and tablet compatible for those students who are on the go. We realize these students most likely will be working, so they want on-demand access to this content. And Mary Colleen's going to show you, the nuts and bolts of that in just a few minutes. These courses each fulfill 9 to 12 seat hours as well as 3 credit hours, and they're really flexible on how they can be used and how they're sold. They can be purchased individually or as part of a complete curriculum solution. This slide represents the full suite of courses. As you can see, it's a pretty robust offering of courses, tightly aligned to the AACN Essentials. 3 other course areas to keep current with the curriculum and the demands of creating a highly qualified nursing education workforce. We're going to be creating courses that meet the 3 Ps: pharmacology, pathophysiology, and physical assessment. This slide shows you the curriculum mapping. So we have these documents available, and outside when you leave the presentation, we have some folders that we invite you to take that has all of this information mapped out for you, a complete list of the courses, the mapping grid, as well as the textbooks where the content is derived from. So we've gone to great lengths to ensure that each course is accurately mapped to the essentials. We have this at the course level. We also have it at the lesson level as well. So I know many of you indicated when you'd signed up for this luncheon that you did already have a Doctor of Nursing practice program in place, and you might be asking, well, why an online program? Why should we go and invest in some online courses? Well, a couple different reasons for that. These courses serve as a great foundation if you're looking to create an online program, if you already have a brick and mortar program, or they can also be a great enhancement to a program or courses that you already have. So it's 2 different ways to think of it. On the academic side, it's a great way for you as an institution to increase your enrollments, to reach a broader spectrum of students, and to truly increase institutional revenue in the process as well. It's also a great way for you to stay competitive, to be able to offer this type of offering to a myriad of students that aren't necessarily have to be on campus to participate in this curriculum offering. And lastly, it's a very flexible curriculum solution. Students love this because it's on-demand access to content. It's mobile and tablet compatible. It changes the way that they learn. It's instructionally designed to enhance online learning. Instructors really love this product because it's preloaded content. There's room for customization, and it really can allow them to get up and running. And we've worked with the best subject matter experts to bring this content to you. And this is a great segue for Mary Colleen to actually get into the product and to show you a quick product demo.
Okay, can everybody hear me okay? As Jen mentioned, my name is Mary Colleen Liberty, and I'm a technology product manager at Jones and Bartlett Learning. I'm so excited to, oops, there's a little feedback there. So excited to talk with you today about this product. So let me, while I'm transitioning here, and you get to see my, my son. I have to say I'm proud to show him off. I just wanted to kind of simplify the message that we have today, which is, in showing these courses, I think something that rings true and something we really strive for was tied to the word easy. So why would I say that? Well, I know one thing that's really important. We really want to make your lives as instructors easy. So this product makes your life much easier. It's a complete solution, and it really offers you everything that you need, whether you want to customize, if you need a flexible solution, or you're really looking for something right out of the box. So easy for the instructor. This is easy as a student, right? If you're a student, this is an easy product to use. So again, if it's easy for a student to use it, that also makes it easy for the instructor, right? You don't want those emails at midnight or that phone call telling you that I can't access the course or I don't know where the materials are. This product is been built to be really easy for a student to use. And then the third easy part is for an institution. This is a great solution for you to actually increase enrollments and drive revenue at your institution because it's a real out-of-the-box curriculum solution featuring all of that great JBL content that you already feel very confident about. So let's get started. So I'm going to show you the course. As you can see right now, this is the online course, and it's in the Jones and Bartlett Navigate Learning Management System. And that's an instance of Moodle. So if you're familiar with Moodle, if you've used Moodle before, then you're familiar with kind of what this looks like. But the other thing that's great about this course is we can actually offer it in any learning management system. So if you're working with Blackboard or you have your own instance of Moodle, not a problem. We can easily accommodate you. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of show you off this a little bit, this course. And we'll start working through it the way a student would typically work through it. So they're going to be looking at this course. Today we're looking at Introduction to the DNP role. We're going to move into the introduction to the course. And then I'm going to go into some of these course tools and resources. So these tools are definitely course level tools. You're probably very familiar if you've been in an online course before. And the first item I'm going to show you is the syllabus. Now some of these tools are instructor and student centric, and some of these are really just for the instructor. So let me show you the syllabus. Something you're very familiar with, I'm sure. What's great about this tool is it's really the blueprint for a student of the course, and it shows, lesson by lesson, all of the texts and how they're going to move through the course. But what's really great about this tool is, and again, I'll go back to that, making it easy for the instructor. It's in Microsoft Word. It allows for easy augmentation. You can edit it. You can customize it to your needs. So I talked to a couple of instructors this week, and they said, well, I'm implementing my DNP course in 7 weeks. Well, this is a 15-week course. Well, you can easily adapt this syllabus to meet your needs. So it's just the foundation and the beginning of that flexibility and customization that you can do to the course. So let's move on. We have learning objectives. These are for the student, and these are course level objectives. They open up in a separate window, which makes it so easy for students if they're using these objectives and kind of wanting to stay on course throughout their movement through the lessons. They can open this at any time or toggle back and forth between the course and the objectives. Then we have this great interactive glossary. This is a course level glossary, and it allows students on the fly to look up glossary terms. They can search or they can browse alphabetically. So again, a really great digital tool for them. Then we have two items here, the instructor resource guide and assessment suggested responses. And you see those are they're grayed out. What we're looking at right now is an instance of an instructor view of this course. So you're going to see things that only instructors are going to be able to see. This being grayed out represents the fact that students are not seeing these items, right? We don't want them to see the instructor resource guide or answers to questions. So let's look at these tools. And I'm just going to take a sip of water because I am suffering from major allergies and am on Claritin. So you all know what that's like. Okay. So I think this instructor resource guide really shows something that, represents the commitment that JBL has to really offering great solutions, both, whether they're print or digitally. But typically in many online courses, you do not receive any really good, robust instructor resources. Well, this is a great tool. First of all, Microsoft Word, so you can customize it for your institutional needs. Then what's so great about it is it's an overview of the whole curriculum, the whole solution. And then it goes really carefully into each lesson individually. So it's giving you a ton of information, in some cases answers to some of the assessments and some of the activities. But what I really wanted to point out that is just so special about this document is we really spent some time considering how to give information about implementing this in an online environment. So we know that that is something that some instructors are doing for the first time, and we want to be a partner with you in that. So this is a great document. I suggest, if you have the chance to take a look at this document, it's really useful, and we've given you a lot of other resources to take a look at. Then we have an assessment, suggestive responses, and just quickly showing you that, just to show that we're giving you instructor tools and rubrics to work with. So once we get past the course tools, we also offer an end-of-course assessment, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But again, another tool for instructors to use. We go into the lessons. And one thing I wanted to point out that's, again, really part of our commitment to making things easy for the student this time is this repeatable design. So you can see, like, in all the lessons, there's that same design, right? That it has the same elements. And that was done purposefully. And the reason why we did that is to really allow students to learn how to use this tool. Once they learn the first lesson and how to get through that lesson and move through it, and it's a very clean, intuitive design, they know it and they can spend more time learning and less time learning how to use the solution, right? We know many times that that is not an easy thing when you have students who are jumping into this for the first time. So as we move into the lesson, we have the title of the lesson, an overview of the lesson, and then we move through it in kind of a linear fashion. And as you probably know, students like to jump around, and we allow them to do that. But again, tied to that kind of flexibility of the solution, as you know, if you've worked in a learning management system, you have a lot of control to kind of really control where the student and the learners and what they see. So we'll move into the welcome, and that offers students, again, some learning objectives, but tied to the actual lesson, and they can toggle back and forth, go into that at any time. And then they move into the study section. And this is really kind of the heart of the product, and in terms of the course content, it's really the most important part of what you're looking at today. And we've really built this to optimize the learning experience for the student. So how many here have taken an online course before? Oh, a lot of people. Okay. So probably the first time you took an online course, was it really a positive experience or maybe not the best experience, right? So we know that sometimes just because it's online, everybody says, oh, that's easy peasy, as my 4-year-old says. Well, guess what? We know that's not true. And we know that not all online courses are designed really well. But this is what we spent a ton of time doing. As Jen pointed out, we had great instructional designers and course writers who spent a lot of time considering the type of audience we have, the type of learners we're dealing with. And so we designed this to be very easy to use and really optimized for an online experience. So as you can see, if you navigate through, the DNP content is very robust, and there's a lot of it, but we spent a lot of time making sure that students felt like they could really digest and chunk the content is chunked in a way that allows them for easy digestion, right? So as they move through the content, they don't feel overwhelmed by it. I'm just going to point out a couple of other really nice features. We have this menu, which allows students to really move through the content very fast. So one thing that we like to do is allow students to have some control over their learning experience, and this element really allows them to do that. They can also navigate in a very traditional way, easy to find tools. Students can print out each page if they like. So we're kind of appealing to all different learning types. Some people really still like to use paper and write notes. But for those people who are kind of into that complete digital workflow, those digital natives, those crazy digital natives, they can go in and they can actually write any type of note right in here. And then what they can do is print this out and save it if they'd like to. So they can study for test, and you can print or you can save this. So this is a great full digital workflow for students. Also, each one of these screens offers a audio introduction and summary. So it's not a full transcription of the actual page, but it does, appeal to those auditory learners. Students can move through the content. There's a lot of scaffolding and accordion design that we can work with through the content. And let me point out a couple of really great features within this content. We have some really great self-assessment activities that offer opportunities for critical thinking, interactivity. A lot of these activities are built as either case-based or scenario-based activities that can be brought even into the classroom. The one thing I wanted to point out too is we know that you have all different types of programs. So in some cases, you might not want to implement it as a full online solution. It might be a hybrid solution. Or you may even use this in a on-ground solution. These kind of activities were designed for the instructor to either allow their students to use it as a self-assessment and kind of practicing in a safe environment, but you can also use it in a classroom activity or even a discussion activity. So again, really set up to optimize the learning and offer a lot of flexibility for the instructor. I'll point out another feature that we offer, which is a case review. So in every one of these lessons, there's at least one case review activity. And again, offering the student opportunities to actually work through this in a safe environment, but this could definitely be a group activity, and they receive that debrief, that remediation. So again, always offering opportunities to really assess and review. This tool is a great tool for review. And I just want to show the references quickly. So students have a lot of references to work with, and they also have this ability to review quickly through the screens. So let me move out of this interactive lecture, and I'm going to show you the review or the practice activities. And this is, again, another opportunity for your students to actually do a self-assessment, but now you get to do you can assign this to your students. So again, safe environment, they get remediation, but this could definitely be a class activity. Once we move through the review and practice, we go into the assess and evaluate. And we know assessment can be a very important way of really evaluating how your student is moving through the course, but everybody likes to do it differently, so we've offered you some different options. Of course, we've offered some discussion questions, which are very important in the online world, and those are native to Moodle, so they're very easily editable, and if they were in Blackboard, same thing, you can edit those. We have assignments, which are all over the place. In this case, students are creating a PowerPoint activity. They're usually writing-based activities or group activities. Again, those can be edited, and you can add your own activities. And then we have the traditional assessment. And this offers multi-response questions, multiple choice, and again, editable and allow you a lot of flexibility. And the last feature of the lesson are the resources. We have some great web links, again, allowing your student opportunities to get more information and supplement what they already have, and then they have another chance to take a look at those references. So I just wanted to say that, this courseware solution, definitely optimized for that online environment. We really want students to succeed. We want to be able to meet the needs of all different types of learners. And certainly feel free to come and visit us up in the terrace room later on if you have any other questions or you would like to take a deeper dive and look at this. And not holding up the person you really want to see today, I'd like to introduce Dr. Lisa Chisholm. Okay. And you have the clicker right there?
Right here. Okay, can everybody hear me okay? Well, hi everyone. Thank you to the organizers of the Doctor of Nursing Practice conference, and also thank you Jones and Bartlett for having me here today. It's very exciting to come and talk to you. I think that this program that they're rolling out is very exciting, and what I want to do is just show you how I think the essentials really can be transformed into practice and share with you my personal journey, having a DNP degree now for about 6 years, and how it's transformed my career and my life professionally. So I know most of us here are familiar, if not all of us are familiar with the DNP degree, but I like to share this definition of nursing practice because it reorientates us back to what nurses do for patients and how we do this on many different levels. The Doctor of Nursing Practice degree is obviously the terminal degree for nursing practice. So looking at the definition of nursing practice, I've highlighted what's really important for us to always remember, that it is direct care of patients. It's what we do. But it's also the management of that care, the administration of nursing and healthcare organizations, and also the development of health policy. These are all important parts of taking care of people, and all of this matters in improving healthcare. So I always like to point this out. Remember those the red words in the definition, because you'll start to see a theme as I talk about this. So how did we get here? This is one of my favorite things to share with folks, and I know many of you are probably very familiar with this, but folks outside of nursing and in healthcare and outside of healthcare really don't always understand how we got here. So this is one of my favorite stories to tell. We started with the Institute of Medicine when they published To Err is Human, which really summarized the errors in healthcare and started to think about how do we reduce these errors and improve care. This was followed by Crossing the Quality Chasm, which the Institute of Medicine at this point put forth some specific aims. So how do we start to solve these problems? Followed by the Health Professions Education, A Bridge to Quality, which really was landmark in developing a set of specific recommendations to improve healthcare and reduce these errors. Now, these competencies I like to share with folks are for all healthcare professionals, not just nursing. These are for physicians, occupational therapists, physical therapists, pharmacists. Everyone should be stepping up to these standards and these recommendations. I like to think of these, again, think about the definition of nursing practice, think about these specific recommendations from the Institute of Medicine for all healthcare professionals, and I like to think of these as the building blocks of the DNP degree. I like this figure a lot. This was published by the Institute of Medicine in A Bridge to Quality. And the reason why I like it is the patient's in the center, and that's how it should be. Everything around patient-centered care. And then around everything else is all of us working together in teams, all healthcare professionals working together to strive towards improved patient care. So what was nursing's response to the Institute of Medicine's recommendations? Well, we stepped up. We have been trying to come up with a practice doctorate for years. In the 1960s, we had the Doctor of Nursing Science degree. That kind of morphed into more of a research degree. Wasn't exactly the practice doctorate that we were looking for. Rosella Schottfield developed the nursing doctorate. She was a pioneer. This was out of Case Western Reserve University, but unfortunately didn't quite have the uniformity or the following, and folks didn't really catch on to this degree. Well, in 2002, the American Association of Colleges of Nursing took a look at and formed a task force to examine where are we at with a practice doctorate in nursing. And in 2004, they developed a position statement and really set forth the recommendation we should move towards a Doctor of Nursing practice degree for entry into practice for advanced practice nurses by the year 2015. And this is the document that actually stepped forward and stated that. So since then, in 2001, the University of Kentucky was actually the first university to enroll a DNP class. And in 2006, the AACN published the essentials, the actual foundational competencies for the Doctor of Nursing practice degree. NONPF then developed nurse practitioner entry-level competencies that really reflect the Institute of Medicine recommendations as well as the essentials. And then in 2009, the National Association of Clinical Nurse Specialists developed their own competencies for the Doctor of Nursing practice graduates. So when I talk about the DNP degree, I talk about the roles. And I say this knowing that nurses wear many hats. We always have, we always will. So I fully endorse these roles as integrated roles. Many of us wear many of these hats on any given day and integrate these roles into practice. But what I want to point out to you, these are the roles that right now are my vision for what the DNP degree prepares us for and what I see out there among my colleagues. But they really link directly back to the essentials, and I really think about that on purpose. The essentials came from the Institute of Medicine's recommendations. We stepped up. We developed a degree. The essentials are our foundational competencies, and they really link back to the roles. Now, an educator role, I think, pulls in all of these essentials. There is not one specific essential that speaks to the educator role, but it pulls together all of the essentials, as does the ethical consultant. Now, it's not easy for nurses to talk about themselves, and I am no exception. So this part isn't easy for me, but I want to share with you my journey and some of the things that I've been doing since I finished my DNP degree 6 years ago. I'm sharing with you these pictures of a wonderful event. I was blessed with an award this year. I received a Nightingale Award in May, and my nominator is to the left of me, Joanne McElbus. She is a pioneer in nursing at the Detroit Medical Center, closely to where I practice. She was one of the first advanced practice nurses 30 years ago, and she really paved the way. She is my mentor's mentor. So it was a real honor for her to nominate me. And in my nomination, she actually talked of some of the contributions that I've been able to have the wonderful opportunity to be involved in since earning my DNP degree. So I share this with you because this was a wonderful milestone for me. I'm by no means done contributing to our profession, but this really, I feel, came from my preparation as a DNP prepared nurse and the foundation that I now have as I try to contribute to nursing. So I talk about the scholarly project a lot because I really think it's our springboard for scholarship. A lot of us go through a DNP program and we haven't published before, we haven't been involved in scholarship before, and I was absolutely that person. I had never published before going to a DNP program, and I had never been involved in research. So I believe that the DNP Scholarly Project is an exemplar for essential number 1 and essential number 3. It was scientific underpinnings to prepare me as a DNP prepared graduate, as well as scholarship. I also want to mention this book. I'm very proud of these authors. Catherine Moran, Roseanne Burson, and Diane Conrad were actually students at Madonna University when I went and lectured there. And they approached me later on and said, we have an idea for a book. And I thought it was a wonderful idea, and I'm so proud of them. They published this wonderful book about the Scholarly Project. And this is, again, a wonderful example of DNP graduates stepping up with scholarship, leadership, knowing there's a need and meeting that need. So my experience with my scholarly project was definitely my springboard. I had a very industrious unique project. Really couldn't have done it without my mentor, Dr. Morris Magnan. He was the chair of my committee. He's my mentor. He's still a very close friend today. I get to work with him still. And this was an example, again, of essential number 1 and essential number 3. And just to share briefly what my project was, I developed and tested a middle-range nursing theory. It's published. The citation is there in the Journal of Nursing Education. This is actually the middle-range theory of spiritual empathy that we developed, and we tested the first 2 concepts. We tested nurses' spiritual care perspectives and how that influenced their ability to express spiritual empathy. This theory actually came from a conversation that I had with a patient about a spiritual concern of hers. So talk about DNP graduates really being in the trenches in practice and pulling away the questions and developing and applying the knowledge out there in practice. So this is an example, I think, the development of the textbook was an example of essential number 2, leadership for me. I considered myself an informal leader. I woke up 2 months after graduation, woke my husband up in the middle of the night, and I said, we need a book. We need something to guide us. If I don't understand a lot about what to do with this degree now that I finished it, I'm pretty sure my colleagues must feel the same way. So he told me to go back to sleep, and I did, but this never went away. This was truly divine intervention. I believe God gave me this book and guided me through this book. But it really was my stepping off into leadership, seeing a need. And I believe it was the DNP degree that helped, even though I was a brand new grad 2 months out, my perspective had changed. It was broader, and I saw the need for something. It was followed by the second edition. So as far as my role as an educator, I don't have a formal appointment. I'm an assistant adjunct professor at Madonna University, and I guest lecture there really on 2 topics, DNP role development, obviously, and the nursing theory, mostly because of my experience with the development of a middle range theory. And I like DNP graduates and students to understand theory really is important, and it's something that the DNP degree really brought me back to, was the importance of our discipline and what that means to our profession. I also guest lecture at universities. This is an exemplar, I believe, for all of these essentials. As I mentioned, there's many essentials that are pulled into your role as an educator, even if it isn't your primary role. So I think how it has enhanced my clinical development and my role as a clinician is extremely important, and I believe probably the most powerful part of how I've been developed as a nurse practitioner through the DNP degree. I believe it's an exemplar for all of these essentials. I practice in a women's wellness clinic in a cancer center, in a comprehensive breast cancer center. And what happened was I was seeing patients who were experiencing induced menopause or happened to be menopausal because of the time of their diagnosis. And these folks can't take hormones, so how do we help them? And it was this vision for what can I do for these women that really started me to get involved with the North American Menopause Society. So through my involvement, I became certified as a menopause practitioner. So this is essential number 1. What scientific underpinnings, what other knowledge do I need to get better at taking care of these people? I've authored 3 manuscripts through my experience with them. And this is essential number 3, scholarship. I've served on an advisory board. This is leadership. I'm a member of these committees through NAMS. This is policy. You don't have to go to the Hill, which is an awesome thing if you get to do that, but you don't have to do that to be involved in policy. I'm also a committee, actually chair for a committee. So I've been able to develop a specialty clinic at Karmanos. Through this, I've been able to develop a practice that's specifically for women going through menopause who can't take hormone therapy. I've been recognized as a certified menopause practitioner, and I only tell you this because North American Menopause Society is 92% physician membership. So for a nurse to be recognized, I thought that was pretty cool. In progress, because my vision continues to be broader and I credit my DNP degree, I now see a need for sexual health with these patients. Menopause patients have problems with libido and desire, so I'm at University of Michigan pursuing a sexual health certificate, and again, it pulls in these essentials. I hope to develop a clinic. I have support from my administration. I have funding to be able to do this. I also think we can be involved as policy advocates, and you can be involved as a policy advocate just by being a member of organizations. I got involved with our Senate Bill number 2, looking at full prescriptive authority in Michigan for nurse practitioners, and I convinced Karmanos to take a pro stance from a neutral stance. So I'm not on the Hill, but we have a role in policy, and this is again pulling in essential number 5. I developed the role of the director of the Women's Wellness Clinic. I went to my vice president and I said, listen, we need leadership. We need someone to help develop this clinic, and I want to be that person. I wrote my own job description. I never thought I would ever have the guts to do something like this, but again, it pulls in leadership, policy, interprofessional collaboration. I had to collaborate with a lot of folks to get buy-in to be able to do this. So putting it all together, the DNP degree is preparing clinicians and healthcare leaders. The emphasis reflects the recommendations from the Institute of Medicine, and that's powerful, especially when talking to our physician and other healthcare professional colleagues about why we're doing this. The essentials are the foundational competencies. And I think it's amazing that when I started my program, there were 13 programs in the country. There's now 217 with 97 additional programs. And the key to this momentum is keeping the credibility and the uniformity in programs. And we do that by sticking with the essentials. And Jones and Bartlett has done a wonderful job in developing a curriculum that really reflects these essentials. And if you remember nothing else from my talk, remember this very cool figure that my mentor, Dr. Magnan, helped me with, because it's very dynamic. The essentials link to the roles, which links to the recommendations, which links back to the essentials and back to the roles. And I think that's really our message. We have a very powerful message in how we're going to improve health care. That's my daughter. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That was fantastic and very inspirational. So, unfortunately, that 45 minutes really flew by for us, and we have to break right now. If you are interested in finding out more information today, we'll be upstairs in the terrace room on the second floor from 12:30 to 3 o'clock. If you'd like more information, we do have a folder that mentions our community site here as well. And also would like to invite you to a webinar on the 16th of October too. Lisa will also be available in the terrace room as well to answer any questions, or if you'd like to chat with her further. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the conference.